We're streaming.
So exciting.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Every 0 people in here right now. Okay. So, got this showing. Little Crazy Crafter. Look at you. So crazy. Little Crazy Crafter. How do I sound? Do I sound fine? Doing a little sound check with our audience here. You sound fine. Okay. Kevin, can you say hello?
Hello, little crazy crafter.
And then Eric, can you say
Lil,
hello?
sorry.
Howdy there, little crazy crafter.
How do they sound? Group.
Hello, Bamo.
How do they sound on your side of things? I think they sound pretty good.
No, shoot, dang shoot.
Yo,
So, yeah,
Kevin 2?
They're saying
Kevin 2
that
reveal?
you are louder, but that might be fine. I'll take it down just a bit here. All right. Per usual, just in the background, a little mood. For those who did not play the first one, I usually just have the River City Girls soundtrack.
Bamo,
playing.
yeah, we couldn't get 3 cameras to work. Oh my gosh, mega moves.
Okay, and then also a question for the group as well is that too loud in the background there? Hello, first time chatter, SWC, that just rolls off the tongue. Oh, Mancrow. Mancrow is actually Glenn. Glenn shows up in the game. He was in the Underground game.
I know this SWC guy.
Kevin Mancrow, Glenn is the singer of our band.
Oh shoot.
So
Heck
that's
yeah,
the guy
hey.
that tried out your
I've heard your
audio
voice.
booth.
Yeah.
So is the music... Could you please turn the video up a bit? I don't know what you mean by the video up a bit. Are you talking about my mic? Because I can't do anything about that, I think.
Music sounds a bit loud. Man.
The music is
I mean-
perfect. Best song in the game.
Oh, okay.
All right, but
What do I know?
I'll turn it down just a tad so it's not overwhelming. So, okay. Yeah, we're still just trying to get everything going here. I will... advance audio properties. I will juice up myself just a bit here. Kevin, our sound designer, was afraid that I was going to be peaking, but apparently you guys can't really hear me. Music is a little loud, yes. I've turned it down. Please turn up your mic. I have tried. I don't know if it's loud enough. I do not know how to correct this.
Yeah, you sound good.
It's good now. Okay. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another stream. Kevin, who are you?
That's a deep question. Yeah, my name is Kevin Samuels. I'm the audio lead on RCG2. I was also the audio lead on RCG1. So, happy to be here.
Pretty much every game at work.
And a lot of other stuff. Yeah, in addition to a lot of stuff. I've been at WayForward for about 10 years. So if you've played any WayForward game in the last 10 years, you probably heard some sound effects I've done.
Our games sound like Kevin, basically.
Yeah.
Hey,
Amazing.
hey, Eric.
Mwah.
Eric,
Hey, how's it going?
who are you?
Who am I? I am Eric Robinson. I was the level designer on this game, but not the first game because I'm not as cool as you guys.
I was, and I'm so happy you came aboard since I didn't want to do it again. Oh my God, Kevin sounds so hot. He is.
That may
he's
or may not be Mr. Tommy Sweet.
What the frick?
What the heck, man?
Yes, Kevin is a big, tall piece of meat. So Eric is, Eric did level design, but that meant he He did not do the actual like pixels. You did some of the backgrounds though. You did.
I did.
You did help out with
I
art.
did a couple of backgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of quests, levels. I touched a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you guys are actually seeing a new level here. This is kind of a spoiler, but it's going to happen like within the first, I don't know, 5 minutes of the game, so you're fine. Plus, I would imagine you want to see some stuff. But, so yeah, level design, this was done by either, who did this?
I think Valeria did.
Valeria probably did this, or Nick Lee. He was a freelancer that ended up working full-time at WayForward. But Eric didn't mainly do this. He is the one that takes this nonsense and goes, hey, Unity, this is actually a 3D level. This isn't just a flat background. This is actually like something that needs some 3D-ness to it. So we're going to start off going over, how the hell did you do this, Eric? Eric is, mind you, this is me doing this.
He's a wizard.
Yes, Eric is going to try his best to walk me through how to look at all this nonsense.
Yeah, this will be interesting. So yeah, everything here is actually set up in 3D space, but it is a very strange 3D space, and you can't click on anything to really snap to it. So it took some. It was a big learning curve, but Bannon, if you go up to the nav bar, hit that 2P5, all the way at the top.
All the way at the top, 2P5. All right.
Yes, so let's do 3D meshes all.
3D meshes all. All right.
Yep.
Waboosh. Oh God.
And then we're gonna. Okay, so this is a view, and then if you hit number 2.
Shabloosh. Here we go.
Yeah,
this is when things get weird, everybody.
So this is what we had to look at for a while, and it is, as you can tell, slightly confused to where anything is. Even if you designed it and said this is where something's going to be, you have no clue. And like right now, we're actually behind the level, right? Because you see like the source image is flipped. So if you can like spin like almost 180, it will be in front of the level.
So I have to do this and then
Yeah.
back it up.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see, we're shooting around.
There we go.
Yeah, so now we're in the front of the level. So yeah, that is what that crazy mess looks like. So
this is why the game takes forever to make. This is what we do for you people. So you be patient.
It's your fault.
And I started dreaming in this view for a while, and it was a little nervous. So to help us get around this, and I want to say this is how the first game was made. So what we were going to do is we did a lot. We took the complication of the level design pretty high in this version. So we knew that this was not going to cut it because it's almost impossible to play with. So Bannon, if you go ahead and let's do, before we do this, in the hierarchy over here, if you scroll up top, what we're going to do, we're turn something off. Open that gameplay background.
Shablam.
Yep, drop that up. Just for sake of us, we're going to turn off the bass. Yeah, just the whole thing,
Okay.
I think. So, because basically what we have to do, is create a big old shoebox is the first thing we did. You got your floor, your ceiling, and hopefully you rascals don't find any holes in the ceiling.
So
I think we should be fine.
Yeah, and what do you mean by that as well? Because our characters, let's just RQ, you're not kidding, that's 3D, all right? Yes, this is all pretty much taking 2D and making it look 3D. Legendary Mochi, that is our VFX artist, by the way. Yo, first time
That's the other Kevin.
viewer. Oh, it's the other Kevin. I'm so sorry.
Kevin rivalry.
What is happening? This is crazy. It is crazy, and Eric had to navigate all this stuff. This is reminding me of Andrew Russell's description of how he made River City Ransom Underground. Pretty much, yeah. But we use 3D shapes, and I forget, like actual 3D shapes, and like we could do curves and stuff like that. It was a little more complicated, and I'm glad we didn't do it exactly like that. All the layering techniques kind of reminds me of really old Disney stuff used on Snow White and the like. Yeah, with their multi-camera system or multi-layer system.
Yep.
Kevin, rest easy knowing that you're not the only one who had bad dreams inspired. That was Eric that was talking. They both have sexy voices. I'm sorry. Eric is more southern. And hello, Cup of Joe. By the way, everybody go follow Cup of Joe, please. Thank you. Much appreciated.
I'm actually eating a bowl of grapes as we talk.
Oh, of course. Oh, hello, Ben.
California.
Okay, continue with 3D River City Girls.
So yeah, so like I said, first thing we do is we build a box with the whole world in it. So we got right, left, front, back, floor, ceiling. But I like to turn that off when we do what we're about to do. Otherwise, you can't see anything. So Bannon, if you go back to that 2P5 in the top, we are going to do something that helped us out a lot. You see where it says 3D Meshes shaded?
Yeah.
Go ahead and click that. And that will take us from wireframe view to our shaded view. So this helps.
Does it?
Upload. It does. And you know, again, if you want to turn that base back on, and you'll kind of see why I turned it off. I would turn off the front actually, because that might give you a little bit better. Because I realized I got so used to looking at this, but it's been a while. So yeah, turn the base back on.
Okay, that was up
over here in the the hierarchy. Yeah.
Oh, that helps.
And then, so this is why I turned that off, because we have, you know, the front collision. So if you drop that base open, you can just turn off front.
So base and then...
open up base.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Front collision?
Let's see. Front collision, yeah. Right there. I keep clicking on it like I can do anything.
Okay, that makes a little more sense.
So now you can see your floor.
So is this our car right here?
That is that angled vehicle, yes. So yeah, once you find like a landmark, you can kind of start to sort of familiarize yourself. The tricky thing is
real quick, Eric. Apparently, you're quiet.
Hi.
Is he quiet?
I don't know. Maybe.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have your volume up?
I don't know. I don't know how you could be quiet and let me see.
Yeah, on his screen.
You can right click on his name in the call and turn the volume up. Light. Oh, we're getting pushback. We're getting Eric seems fine.
I'll turn you up just a bit here, Eric.
Starting a rivalry.
Okay.
But yeah, so figuring out where you are in 2D space versus 3D space is a little rough, and it took a long time for me to grasp that, because it seems off. You seem like you got a lot more. The space in 3D seems a lot more than it is in 2D. And then, yeah, you have certain levels like this where you can't even see the back wall because the art gets in the way.
Yeah. So
lots of challenges here.
This is the mailbox. This is the bush over here. And the angled walls, this is how you have to, like, when there's perspective, you have to do actual angled walls like this, right?
Yeah. You know, for a lot of things, we try to keep it at 45s, but some things aren't. And the trick with this 3D stuff is you can very easily change the angle of something. We got that set up, but the way it works is once you change the angle, the depth doesn't really match. It's a lot of adjusting, a lot of time playing with sliders. And, you know, if the depth is a little too much, then your player's going to get hung up. So if that happens, it's not my fault. Somebody else after me did it.
So if I go into game right now and then back into scene, game will it show right where I'm at? Like, hey, so this weird thing here, this thing here, this and this.
No, game's going to be locked, I think, to either the center of the world or that door.
Gotcha. Okay.
But we can just use this as an example.
Yeah. So this is the bush over here. Let me just get rid of. Yeah, and that's the thing about this is, as I always describe it, is it's kind of like those chalk drawings on the ground that have to be like, they look 3D, but it's just because of the weird angle that it's at.
Yeah, it's perspective trick.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, there's a lot of trickery that we did.
So okay, let's dive into this a little more. What do I do with any of this stuff?
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a whole bag of sauce. So let's see something that's on it. Let's take that bush, for example. Or, you know what, this pole right here. Let's see if we can find
This
that.
one, is this the pole right here?
Yes, that one there.
Okay.
So since it's been quite a while, you're going to look in the assets area, collapse the bushes, because I know it's not in bushes. Sorry, over here in the hierarchy. God, I keep clicking on it.
Is it in gameplay background over here?
It's in black background. It's just right down there. There's assets.
Okay, gotcha.
Keep going. So the assets is where we try to store everything. Because like I said, it gets, depending on the level size. This one's a big level. It's not our big level. Poles. Yeah, I think we were very organized in this level.
Gotcha.
Keep
Okay.
going. There you go. And now you just got to figure out which one it is. It's probably 3 or 2.
It's number 2. There we go.
Probably
Okay.
number 4.
So is this the one in the back
got it.
over here?
That, I think it's actually in the. It's up there. It's like parallel.
Oh,
in line with
okay.
the bus.
Gotcha. Oh, no, it
Yeah,
is. Yeah. This is where the bus
Yeah,
stop is.
it's a juke. Yeah, it's all a juke. So yeah, what we would do. This one's a little simple because it's flat things, or anything that doesn't really have an angle. Which is most round things are generally just straight. So what we would do.
Oh, real quick about
if
round
you-
things in general, just for any of you game dev people out there, round things with this weird perspective that doesn't make sense. I'm not talking about just like the weirdness that we're looking at right now, but just see if we could straighten this out just a bit here. Like all this 45-degree angle, but it looks like if this is a camera, we would be looking down, but we're not really looking down. We're looking forward. Like beat 'em up perspective doesn't make sense. Circles or round objects like round tables and stuff like that are kind of your friends. You can place this pot anywhere, but like putting this thing, this like whatever, like AC unit, if I were to put this over here but angle it this direction, the perspective now looks off. But if you have like a round barrel or like a round pole or something like that, you can place those wherever, and the perspective doesn't matter because you don't have 45-degree angles on these round objects, if that makes any sense. They're much easier
round
to
things are
place.
very, very nice.
Yeah.
And another thing too, that sometimes when you look at the entire level as a whole, stuff feels off. But we had to get over that because it's like, well, you guys will never see that.
Yeah.
Until today.
So
Sorry for breaking your.
no problem.
dreams.
And while I have broken Eric for a bit here, I have some keys I'm going to be giving away. Arc System Works put out a new game, River City. It's not called Ransom. Yeah, it's just River City Saga, The Three Kingdoms. So all I need for you guys to do is just put in the word gimme. And I'll pick one of those gimmies in about like 5 minutes. So yeah, just put in
Give me
gimme,
that.
and I will scroll through them randomly, and I will grab a gimme, and I'll most likely give another one away. So yeah, just gimme. Okay, so the poll here, what are we doing with it?
So over here in the hierarchy, if you drop the poll or just open up the poll too. Yep, you're almost there. Yep.
It's taking a while.
We want to go. Yeah, we want to go to the child. So the mesh there.
The child.
Because the render is the little child. The render is something that gets added by default. So here's where we get to play. I tell you what, can you pull the move description DB down a bit so we can see more up there in the inspector? Yeah, there we go. All right. So what we kind of have here is we have a 2D box collider that we add, and that kind of mostly gets manipulated. That generally what we did is we're going to throw the sprite in there, and then we'll just kind of size that sprite to where we think it is in flatland. So the pole is very easy. but something with an angle to it. What we do is essentially get the box collider to match the frontmost face. In most cases, sometimes we have to split the difference and do it in the middle. But in reality, you just grab the front face and then you're going to extrude. Kind of like, it's like we have a very bare bones Maya in here.
Gotcha.
So what we've done, is so over here on the mesh component in the inspector, what you can do is just like, you see how it extrude max is at 0.12 right now? If you slide that around,
where's that at?
Keep going up.
All right, I got my mesh.
Down.
A little bit down.
In that component, extrude max.
0.12, gotcha.
0.12. Yeah, so if you just slide that, you can see. Yep.
Oh, bro.
And what Bannon's doing is a great example of what not to do. We found out very early on, extruding it negatively, it just doesn't like it. Because we have algorithms and a whole bunch of other stuff. But yeah, so we can make that pretty deep. And if we wanted to extrude it negatively, we would just pull in the min. So if you adjust that min to come down, it'll pull out forward like you were doing earlier.
The nin? What do you mean? Oh, the min. Sorry.
Min max. So yeah. Whee! So yeah, that'll adjust the depth in the world, and then the extrude direction. Go ahead and take the max up to like 1, just so they can see it. Basically, just don't save the scene when you're done.
Oh, of course, yeah.
we'll just mess this whole scene up.
Yep.
So yeah, if you slide that X either left or right, you can just see it kind of like whee.
Oh, so is this how you?
Generally,
is this how you do the angled stuff?
Yeah. So like I said, if it's 45, I'm pretty sure it was just -1. That got us most of what we needed. Gotcha. 9 times out of 10. Sometimes we have to fake it a little bit and have some weird numbers. In some rare cases, we have to double up, triple up, quadruple crazy collision to make things work.
Well, how about this?
Very rare
we
use something completely different.
Let's mess it up, so people can see that it isn't about the actual art itself. Like, the art is basically there as a visual representation of collision itself. So with this, I still have the pole selected, right?
Yeah.
All right.
But like if you want to be like adjusting the mesh, just go to the mesh child under the pole.
Oh, I don't know how I got off that. Okay. So I don't know.
I hope you can all hear my dog drinking in the background.
I do hear it. Extrude max. So we'll do this, whatever. And then, that's.
Yeah, we didn't mess with this.
Okay, generally. So now this is off the pole. This is very wrong. So let's actually jump in. I don't know what character it's automatically going to throw in here. Yes, that is loud. Okay, so while this is loading, because Unity loves to take its sweet time loading, I'm going through the gimmies. Where are all my gimmies?
Okay, he's finally stopped drinking.
Thank you. Cybergunk. Hello, Cybergunk. You just got yourself a River City Saga key.
Woohoo!
Clap.
I'm sorry, Kevin. Did you want it instead?
Yeah, I kind of wanted it.
I mean, I'll just send you one.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I will Cybergunk.
You don't have to play.
Ain't that the truth?
Okay, so Unity takes its sweet time on my computer opening up, so that's all we're waiting for. And
Look at that nice two-tone vehicle you got there.
So yeah, what is that about, Eric? Can you describe what is happening here?
You usually have to pay extra for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we what we've got is a lot of vehicles. Of course, in one location, but ideally you'll ever only see one spawn, or sometimes none will spawn, but just to keep it a little dynamic. So sometimes in levels, you know, where you saw a vehicle before, there might be anything, or there'll be a different type of vehicle. So what we've generally done is, what we have to look at is just a whole gaggle of different vehicles.
Language, Eric, language.
Yeah.
Gaggle?
Well, you know,
I'm sorry, everybody.
gaggle.
Cover your ears.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of different vehicles all layered on top of each other. And because the sorting algorithm doesn't care, you know, when you're just in the scene view, it just looks like a hot mess. But, like, you know,
Yeah. Oh,
look at
there's
that.
Privy.
Nice little Bronco.
Okay, so let me actually. Oh, this is. So usually when I first open up Unity, it is chugging big time. Legendary Mochi, if you're in here, I'm sorry they're seeing what Unity does to your VFX when it first plays them. Okay, so do these people die? Did I set them to where they're invincible?
You might have invincible babies.
Okay, it looks like they're invincible right now. Okay, so this is the pole over here, and as you can see, when I messed around with the pole and gave it like an angle and stuff like that, we're all they normally nav mesh. Eric, can you describe nav meshing?
Oh, Provy.
Nav mesh is, for anybody who's never done it, is hell on earth.
And why is that?
It well, I mean, generally in a normal, like, big, you know, 3D game, it's not that bad. It's still not great. But in this game, because we're in that fake 3D, I mean, it is 3D, but not really. Man, we had to do so many things. I'm pretty sure I sat there with my programmer who also worked on the project, and I think we were there for half a day using the basic stuff until we figured out that just was not going to cut it. We would get one thing right, and then the enemy would just get caught up on something. It's just a mess.
Yeah. So nav meshing basically is like,
broken.
hey, enemies, walk this way. Like, don't just walk into walls and stuff. Like, we give them paths. So I've now messed up the path, or I've put something in their path that shouldn't be there. So this is showing you
that
the
path is still there.
Yeah, it's just now being blocked by this
Right.
stupid collision thing that I put in there, so you could see. So as you can see, we are just hitting. I think I might even be able to wall jump off of nothing. So this is art is not. Art is nothing. It's all about the collision itself. You can make a game that's nothing but just blocks. Kevin, as you could see, it is now showing off nighttime. So this is something that Kevin Samuels is going to go over later, what is happening with nighttime. But also poor Eric had to put in all these night layers that I made. So as you can see, we're now turning into nighttime here. It is, what time is it? This might freeze it just for a bit because Unity has not opened up the cell phone in a bit. So yeah, it is 9, you can see it up here, 9:35 p.m. So 10 o'clock, I believe. It's 10 o'clock, right, Eric? That's full on nighttime?
I don't believe that's full night, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think 4 is when it starts, and then 5 is like full because we don't know what time the sun comes up.
So as you can see here, Eric had to put in the layers also for nighttime. So all these windows are showing up all lit up now. You get to see, the lights on the ground and stuff like that. One thing we couldn't do, and I always try to be open about things we couldn't accomplish, we've got a nighttime bench here. It turns into a daytime bench. Whatever. That's fine.
Yeah, so you actually broke something. But, hey, I mean, breakables,
it's just highlight.
smashables, it's just to know you did something cool. I mean, the amount of smashables we have in this game, the interactability with the environment is awesome, in my opinion.
And
it is fun. Like, the first time you guys go in here, just try to break everything you can see. It's just so much fun.
And the
playtesters run over leaf piles right now.
Yeah, the playtesters that I played with, I noticed a lot of them just wanted to smash everything. Eric, I don't even know if you've seen the water actually knocks people back up now.
Oh, I haven't seen the.
Yeah, I'm invincible, so it didn't do anything, but it'll just blow everybody straight up.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is Eric and Chris went in and just made tons of stuff breakable that I didn't think would be breakable. Like, this is breakable. I was like, okay, all right, that's breakable. Okay, this is breakable. All right.
The bench is breakable. Yeah.
But this,
You can clear these.
It's so much fun. I mean, shoot, and like I guarantee you, I've played these levels more than anybody on the planet over and over again, testing and testing. And every time I go in there, I'm smashing stuff just because it's fun. Or kicking people into things. Oh, it's so satisfying.
watch Eric, see if I could do it here. So it'll launch people like straight up. It's not doing it to me because I'm invincible. But so this meant.
Yeah, no, I think it did it, Terry.
This is why I wanted Eric and Kevin in here. So Eric and his team put in all these breakables. Kevin had to go in there and put sound on all the breakables. I'm so sorry, Kevin.
I mean, it wasn't me. It was someone on my team. We had Speed help out with that. That was his main job on this project, and it was quite a job. But yeah, he made some awesome sounds for like pretty much anything you can think of has a unique sound. I don't know. Stream, can you hear the game?
What's up? Oh no, there's no sound, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
Actually, let me.
You got mute audio. Yeah.
Yep. Let me mute the actual. So I will go in here and reset this real quick. So I showed this off last time. Yes. This is a training level. Oh, and this is Kevin.
Oh gosh.
So yes, all of our accessory stores now have commercials. And that's Kevin as well.
Yeah, we had this really wild idea to oh, you're showing off new music, Bannon. Just what?
I'm what?
Yeah, we had this wild idea to add a radio station. So myself and the audio team made, and Bannon and Chris Williams made a bunch of like commercials and radio bumpers and things like that. Yeah, and it's called River City Radio. And it's something that took like way too long for kind of minimal payoff, but we thought it was fun, so we just ran with it. I think it's usually not as often as we thought we would in the game, but yeah, it's awesome.
That's game design.
So there you go, 45 hit combo. I hope you're happy. But yeah, all these sounds. Yeah, every breakable. There's a lot of individual sounds that each of these have. So that was a garbage can sound. That's our little mailbox and paper sound. So lots of different sounds.
I mean, this just scratches the surface too. So
yeah, this is one.
Yeah, there are
scene.
so many breakables. This is
So
one
much.
scene again.
So much.
Yeah, and then of course, like there are lots of things you could pick up. We can use them as weapons, like you could in RCP1. Those all have individual, like breakable sounds and fun little Easter eggy stuff. So,
Eric, I was
lots of
surprised.
cool-
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, you good.
Eric, I was surprised you guys made the entire dumpster breakable.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think Chris, me, and Nick got endless meetings, and just like, what can we break? Everything. As long as it's not too big, break it. I think the dumpster is probably the biggest thing to break. I think. I don't know. And then there's some, most stuff is just break with your basic particle system with a little bit of flair here and there. But there are a couple things in the game that we specifically, I almost fell out of my chair once, and I haven't done that in like 8 years. When we made one thing, I won't say what it is. There's something in the game that pops and flies away, and it
Okay.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's probably my favorite breakable sound too. When Speed put that in, I was dying.
Red Mint, yes. Godai was in there, and I've now murdered Godai. He was in the dumpster, and he exploded. No more Godai. I'm so
Spoiler
sorry.
alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Sorry. If you don't break that dumpster right there, he will live and give you 17 different secret endings. You can quote me. Yeah, let's go through this real quick. There's a couch somewhere I made you can smash. Yes, there is, Kevin. You spoiled the couch. Whatever,
Not
Kevin.
the couch.
Oh my gosh.
This is awesome. Thank you. The song is a bop. It is a bop. That is one of many songs. I know if you haven't followed her, definitely go follow Megan on Twitter and Instagram, because she does give like small little previews to the music that she's been working on for this. I just realized no River City Saga for Xbox. Yeah, Japan doesn't like Xbox. I'm sorry. Would be nice. He has it coming. Yes, he did have it coming. Getting some heavy skate Streets of Rage vibes from Pruvy's depiction here. Yeah, Stefan. She was in River City Ransom Underground. Not too many of the same moves though at all, because she doesn't have roller skates on. I can't wait for Misako and Kyoko's new moves for Mugen. Those two would be broken. Yes, I would. Save that couch. Hoodie over a bodysuit is inspired in a good way. Yeah, she had. This was kind of the idea that I always wanted, like a very short kind of crop top thing with like the tights on. Originally, she drew Pruvy the size that she was in Underground, so she was like a little tiny midget, which was adorable. But I was like, those legs aren't going to do too much kicking.
I sympathize with her.
Yeah. And RCG getting beaten down doesn't mean much, seeing as Sabako survived a 20-foot tall drop and all that. True, but also Street Fighter characters have been beating the shit out of each other for like 30 years, and they don't have a single bruise on their face. So
Just bouncy.
Just build different.
Yep, video games. So how did, I don't even know how you guys did this. Was this a kind of a dual thing where you had to work with Eric or Chris? Chris was, what do you consider Chris, Eric?
On this game or just in life?
Not the life one.
No, he is generally my 3D guy, so we put him to the task of he can kind of do quite a few things. So towards the end there, he really started doing all these, like all the particle systems for the Smashables, I believe, came from Chris, barring any additionals that came after. But yeah, he worked hard on all of those Smashables. And yeah, so I know he worked with Kevin's guys.
So yeah, Kevin, how did you get in here? Or I don't even know if you had to manually do it yourself. How did you get in here and place sounds into the backgrounds and on all these like
ambient sounds or
objects?
breakables? Because there's slightly different processes for both of them. So breakables, I know Svi worked with Chris and Nick.
So are there any ambient sounds in here right now that are like where I have to get close to something to even hear it?
Yeah. You probably have to mute the music for most of them in this scene in particular.
Yeah, let me do that. I'm going to bring back music. Sorry, music. Okay, and also Twitch group, our viewers, tell us if you can even hear most of this. I might have to crank this up a bit in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn up the stream.
There, I'm just going sound effects wise. So right now it is nighttime. You should be able to hear the crickets and kind of like ambient sounds. The first game, Kevin, didn't really have any ambient sounds, right?
No, the first game was super focused on the sort of 8-bit, 16-bit, like Double Dragon inspired sounds. And then this game, I think, like when we first started Bannon, you said there was going to be much more emphasis on kind of exploration. The environment.
Pretty much, I wanted the city to feel alive and lived in. So the cars that you guys saw, those cars, like this car right here, if I were to leave and come back, it might not be there because people are just coming and going. And so it kind of changes. Like we had a car over here before, it's not here anymore. So it's kind of like people are coming and going. It changes to where this is an actual, now this is a new surface that you could start fighting on top of and stuff like that. So yeah, keep going.
I have no idea how you did that, Eric. So that was like a really early goal of ours when we started production on this, was like how do we make the city feel more alive? And we experimented with a few different sort of audio styles for ambience and emitters and things like that, and then we sort of landed on, oddly enough, like just almost realistic stuff. So I wasn't sure it would work, but it kind of contrasts nicely with the sort of like gamier synth sounds, combat sounds, and it makes an interesting blend. So the environment, the way we looked at it as the team, was sort of the environment is almost realistic sounding or kind of hyper realistic sounding. All combat, player sounds, boss sounds, enemy sounds, things like that are the sort of synthy stuff from RCG1, and then things that are kind of between that, like breakables, weapons, they kind of straddle both worlds. We sort of try to design somewhere in the middle, and yeah, that's where we landed. So it's kind of like a much more full spectrum of audio in this game. Yeah, the first game I was me and one other person, and so much of the focus, like the game development, is a lot about time. We really only had time to focus on, the core sounds. Whereas this game, we had an awesome team of myself and 3 sound designers, who, yeah, we could kind of split up work and cover a lot more. So we just kind of went all out. Like I mentioned earlier, there's like a radio station.
I mean, Kevin, you're getting
you're
getting some feedback on the bat sound itself.
Oh, nice. That is Mr. SWC Mega Moose 64 Tommy Sweet in the chat made that sound. He did all the weapons. So.
Yeah, go grab that. I think the bike had a pretty cool. Didn't it have like a bell?
The bike sounds awesome. Yeah, the bike has a
The
bell.
bike's chunky sounding, but it also has, mind you, everybody, whenever I grab something new or do something new in Unity, it will kind of chug just for a bit because it's loading it up for the first time. And yes, heavy objects, you can now hit people on the ground and just smash them. Oh, so right now, as you can see, it's 4:25 a.m. I don't know if you've even noticed, we're transitioning back into daytime. So as you can
yeah, so you hear the background audio kind of changing from that night soundscape to the day soundscape.
Some dogs barking in the background.
Yeah, they're like randomized emitters of dogs. I think, yeah, we kind of missed it, but at night, those street lights even have emitters on them. So you hear a little, like, the faint hum of a street light. We got, like, super realistic and probably way too detailed.
So right now, Kevin, am I getting closer to birds, or is that randomized?
Yeah, no, there's an emitter. It's a 2D emitter that section of the level has more birds in it. And then as you run away, the section to your left has more sort of like traffic sounds. And that's, no spoilers, but largely due to the scene that's next door. So we designed a lot of the ambience with that in mind, is like not only what's going on in the scene, but where are you in the context of, the world at large.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can kind of hear I'm getting closer to something else down here. It's very faint. You might not even be able to hear it.
Careful, I think we turned off that front collision, right? So you might be able to walk off the world.
Gotcha.
Which was a problem when you often turn off things like the floor, things you need.
But the higher I go up here, I'm starting to hear more dogs and stuff, but more I go
let me
here.
look at the scene. Gosh, I guess it's good that it sounds natural. But this scene in particular, there's that birds emitter. There's traffic, like I said, towards the bottom. There are some night-specific emitters.
So how did you put it in the scene itself? Like, how is it over here?
We just dropped. We use Fmod, which is audio middleware, and we use Fmod Studio emitters. The tricky part of that was it's basically just an object, like a game object, we can drop into the scene at particular places. The tricky part of that was kind of like working with Eric's team's 3D, 2D system, getting that that fall off to sound like accurate to the game. Like we wanted, when Proby is next to the the street lamp, it's getting the, she has a listener component on her, which means that is kind of like what the player is hearing.
Yeah, it sounds like there's way more birds up here than there are like down here.
Right, yeah, and we kind of wanted to imply like there's more neighborhood, it's more suburban down there.
Are you able to open up at least the file of it, like whatever, this scene itself, just to show how many layers of sound there are?
Yeah, so it's multiple files, but yeah, I could probably screen share.
Okay. So Eric,
this
is this something I can show people where like sound is placed in the level itself, or is that a completely different thing?
Should be. If
Okay.
you,
Yeah, you should be able to. They're SFX ambient
Okay,
object. If you just
let's-
pause or stop the scene, go back to the scene view. Stopping would probably be better.
yeah, because we have lots of entities that are
just-
on.
New art style reveal.
Yep. For those of you who have just joined us, this
wait.
is a kind of co-stream of showing how we made levels, how we put in these background pixel art and made them into 3D scenes that you can get into, but how did we get these sounds into the scene as well and make the city kind of sound more live? Bamo, I won't be going over how long the game is. Sorry about that. The sounds are more mature. I love it. They are very mature. This and
Yes,
Shredder's
yeah.
Revenge are modernizing the beat 'em up genre in a positive way. Yes, more beat 'em ups, please.
Heck yes.
Nice.
Oh, and shout out to Ian Strother for the Provy sounds you're all hearing. Yeah, he worked on the
Is
majority
Ian
of
in
those,
here?
and they sound amazing. No, I'm just giving him a shout
Oh,
out.
okay.
You know.
I thought
Yeah.
you were saying his like screen name on here.
No. But he did a great job. I agree that the sounds are so much cooler.
Nova Pain, I don't quite enjoy the Yakuza series, surprisingly. Can't get into it. Let's see here. What else? What questions? Boba was a pain. Yes, he was. Sorry about that. I'd like to see one of the bosses from the original River City show up. I mean, they showed up in the first game, so that's a thing. Big Blag shows up in Xbox version. I don't know what that is. Huge improvement over RCG1. Congrats, guys. Well, thank you.
Okamoto Kitchen, thank you.
Yeah, Akamoto Kitchen
We
actually
did it.
did.
I love your food.
Akamoto Kitchen did a big promo thing with us where they turned their food truck into Merv's Burgers, and it was awesome. Okay.
Yeah, and so like sound-wise, people said there was an improvement. We went and redid. So like, I don't know how many of you watched the last stream or the VFX stream or any other stream where you've heard some combat sounds. But we went in, like, there are a lot of familiar sounds, you know, for Masako and Kyoko and things like that. Obviously, Pruvy's stuff is all new, but we went and redid like literally every single sound in the game, made it sound better. So even though it's like the moves all kind of sound the same, we wanted to keep them iconic. We went in and kind of rebalanced everything, re-EQ'd it, and made it fit with our sort of approach to this game. And so, yeah, I'm glad people are digging it. That's awesome.
Now, how do we find these sounds? Where are they? How do I see them?
It should be
Where are
a
you,
group,
sound?
SFX Ambient in the...
Is it still in gameplay background?
No, you
Yeah,
can collapse
collapse
that.
Shaklaki. Okay. Shabaloop.
Collapse that. SFX Ambient is all the way on the bottom. I usually put it down there because it's easiest to find.
Oh, so
yeah,
this
click
is
on one of those.
This is a nighttime over here. Nighttime.
Yeah, so that, yeah, you see, like, if you zoom out a bit on the scene, and then click on one of them, you can see like where they are.
Select one and just hit F. Yeah, this is one of the few things that you can hit F on and it'll take you.
Oh, that's fast. I didn't know they were actual like spherical kind of.
Yeah, so they're 3D emitters as well. We had to work within the 3D space, just like Level Design did. So that is actually like on the ground where the streetlights point. And so when you walk through that, you'll
Isn't
hear,
that
like
your biography, by the way? Your book where the streetlights point.
Where the streetlights point. That's my second album.
Yep.
Yeah.
Highly experimental.
Oh, very. It's very
It's
weird,
awesome.
but still, I liked it better on the third, like run through. But yeah.
Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Anyway, what were you saying, Kevin? Before Eric rudely interrupted you.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.
You're welcome.
No, so those two spheres are actually fairly helpful in placing emitters. The inner sphere is sort of like, you'll hear that streetlight sound within that inner sphere at full volume if the player is like standing there on it or near it. And then the outer sphere is the furthest that you'll be able to hear it. You know, like so if you run out of that outer sphere, you will, you know, stop hearing it.
Yeah.
And then between that, there's like a volume fade. That happens.
Gotcha.
And
So this
those are all
is full
settings that we can
volume,
set
and
up
then
in
it
Apple.
starts lessening over here.
Yep, yeah, it ramps out, and then once
Gotcha.
you hit that point, you're no longer hearing that street lamp. And so that's like a really, pretty tight fall off because we didn't want an annoying street light buzz.
Traffic medium emitter. Where are you? Okay, so this is
That
what
sh-
we were
that should be on the
talking
bottom of
about.
the scene. Yeah.
This is,
And so if you zoom out, that's just the inner circle. If you zoom out, the outer circle, that one is huge.
but this is showing off to where this is one of the right over here. This is a door exit right over here, or is this?
Yeah.
Is this place? Yeah, yeah. So this is the door exit over here, kind of hinting at you're about to go into a completely different scene that has, we'll say, traffic. I mean, if you look at the trailer for the game, you'll be able to see this level. We're not showing it off today, though. I'm big on
We're spoiling that
spoilers.
there are cars in the game, though.
Yeah, I mean,
there
if
are
they watched
cars
the
in
trailer,
scenes
they would
next
see
to
it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it
know.
just shows you there is sounds. Come this way. There's something else over here.
Right. So that was a big focus doing ambience is like, we wanted to sort of, like I said, place the player in the context of the world. So I was constantly bugging Bannon about, when I was doing this, like a map, right? Like of how all these scenes lay out, how these scenes interact with each other, what kind of order the player has to go in.
I would love to show
Yeah,
you
that was a
guys the
good
map,
listener.
but it is
Yeah,
a
so
big
let's show
spoiler.
them the map.
It's still locked in that box somewhere.
So suburban birds emitter, as
Yeah,
you can
so
see,
suburban
is
birds
massive.
is huge, and it's that area. Yeah, it's just when you're in that area. This is sort of a 2D emitter, meaning it's like a stereo sound essentially, and we are basically just using the 3D fall off, F1's built-in 3D fall off as a volume control. So if you get closer to that section of the scene, you'll hear more birds. That's all it is. It's a really complicated way of saying it.
So we'll go back into the game. So this is like dead center of the birdemic right here. Is this
You're in
bush.
Birdville. Yeah.
Yes, this is Bannon Rudis, as far as I could tell. I recall a rumor that Battletoads were planned for Double Dragon Neon. I have no idea. That was way before my time. But the game didn't do well, which is a pity. I liked it. I don't know if it didn't do well. It seemed to do well for them. Wonder if Mr. Rudis, you don't have to call me that, did even more series research before starting the sequel. You could always ask me. I grew up on this series, so we could do all the research in the world, though. There's been the first River City game was the 50th title, so lore and canon be damned, nothing makes sense in this series at all. So this is kind of its own universe. Consider it kind of like I don't know, the ultimate Marvel universe. Peter Parker's still Peter Parker, but now he's back in high school and like he has different friends. It doesn't have to line up at all.
We do have a lot of Easter eggs. Though.
There's a lot of Easter eggs.
You and I
Oh,
like
huge.
to hide secret things everywhere.
You hit a couple so well that I didn't know they existed, and then when I ran into them, I was like, oh, we need sound for that.
Yep.
I might have forgotten about some of them. We put quite a few in there.
What was I going to show? Somebody did
Oh,
ask
do you
about
want to mute the
stats.
music again?
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, you got to just wiggle that.
gotcha. Well, that's a bug. Somebody was asking about stats in this game. There are stats. So you have your ST, which is always weird because stamina usually in like an American game, stamina is usually like if you're playing a wrestling game or even like Elden Ring, that usually determines like, oh, I'm getting tired. I can't do this. Stamina in some Japanese games, but especially the Kunio-kun series, stamina is their health. So ST is your stamina, attack power, AT, weapon. This increases the strength of weapons, how much damage they do. This is just overall attack itself. This covers your specials, your just quick attacks, heavies. Agility, you'll go faster. Luck is one of those kind of ones that don't seem too important at first, but if you have a higher luck, that is a better chance of enemies dropping health items for you when defeated. And then special is increasing the amount. This green meter is your special meter. It increases the amount of special meter that you have to spend. Okay, so we're getting quiet again. I am cheating right now, so no enemies are able to touch me. So Is this where we should be able to hear it?
Yeah, I can't hear your stream, but there is a slight streetlight buzz. Headphone unit only.
It is ever so faint.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the idea. We don't want this stuff to stick out. But it's
Yeah, this is one of the few games that I could like still work on with. I usually mute audio just because it gets old after a while. This is one of the few games. The music's awesome and the sound effects were spot on.
Yeah, so as you could hear as well, I don't know if you can actually hear that right now. There is ambient sounds of some police cars in the background. It is nighttime. The city is a little rough
It's a
around the
dangerous
edges.
city.
Yep. So you'll be able to hear police
And then-
sirens going by.
Yeah, and then Bannon, if you want to run over by the big tree to the left, we got super dorky with the emitters. There's an owl that will hoot, but only during certain hours of the night. So it's like 2 hours. If you're standing by that tree, you will hear an owl hooting.
Which one?
The big tree to the
Oh,
left.
the big tree. Okay, let's go.
By the-
Let's go
the
listen
different-
to an owl over here. By the
got it.
way, Arc System Works put out a new game called River City Saga: Three Kingdoms. I need everybody to. What's the word they should put in here?
Salamander.
I want everybody to. Whoever wants a
Salamander.
key for this, I'm randomly going to pick in about like 10 minutes a random salamander in the chat. So just type in the word salamander, and I will pick a salamander, and you'll get River City Saga. If nobody's familiar with that, that is Arc System Works classic looking River City 8-bit sprites, but it is in the Three Kingdoms tale. There it is, salamander.
I should have said Quetzalcoatl. You had to spell it right.
As you can see, there is a lot more verticality in these levels as well. I don't know if I mentioned I am cheating, so these enemies can't hurt me. I can't show off Pruvy's parry either, because they can't hit me. But we are going over, for anybody that's new to the stream right now, we're going over all the sound effects and how we got them into levels and just basic level design itself. So as you can see, Eric and his team. Eric, if you want to just refresh, say hello, everybody.
Howdy, y'all.
That's Eric. Worked on getting all this 2D art into 3D shapes and collision and workable scenes for us to run around in. But him and his team made breakable stuff as well. And so you're going to be able to go through and smash to your heart's content. As you can see, it's doing stuff over here. You can see the code kind of like, hey, all right, that thing's gone. All right, we'll get rid of that now. So I'm not able to get hit by anything, so that's where. And Eric even had to put in all these, or maybe Chris did, had to put in all these citizens in here.
I love
Yeah,
the
I think I set them up, and then Chris went and put it. Yeah, the cool thing is we've got, I won't spoil any of them, but we got a lot more random little citizens in this game, which is, some of them are pretty funny.
Yeah.
And one of them we couldn't get, but they're all pretty awesome.
So yeah, this is kind of a spoiler, but at the same time, this is a one of the first levels you'll see. So what I was doing earlier in the stream, if you've just joined us, is Eric was showing me how to mess around with the collision, and I've messed around with the collision of this pole here. So enemies do not know how to react to it anymore because they're not supposed to be. They're trying to go where they're supposed to be able to go, but I've now made it to where, as you can see, there's an invisible wall here. So they don't know how to react to this thing.
We'd have to remake the collision, and then it would adjust itself. Then they could go around.
Gotcha. But yeah, right now
we didn't talk about that for every time you see an enemy. Like you jump up on that vehicle, and vehicles were a whole other bag of squirrels. But yeah, if you jump up on things, anytime an enemy has to jump up onto something, every little point that they can jump up on has to be specified by, well, in this case, me, and that was a whole bunch of fun.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, that was
So there's a thing that beat 'em up games do. Ninja Turtles does it. Final Fight. Every beat 'em up game does it. We don't do this thing. Is to where the background, like in a normal beat 'em up game, this would be kind of, oh, we're transitioning into daytime, so you're going to start hearing daytime sounds now. Beat 'em up games kind of do this, to where the background is not something that you can really interact with. You're not able to jump on it or any of that kind of stuff. But what we do is we give a lot of platforms to where, Eric, describe what you have to do for just a corner like this. For a player to be behind a corner, but be able to get in front of it, to be at a corner, and even behind it.
I mean, a big shout out to my best buddy, Billy. Billy works on the programming side. The outsorting algorithm in this game is a beast. And we went through several iterations of it, but that piece of 3D collision for that end bush, because it only covers the end of that bush. I believe that bush is broken up into 3 separate sprites. The math for that thing to let the player know when it gets to a certain midpoint that that bush has to be in front of the player, is quite an ordeal.
Am I able to show the actual collision on this while in play?
While in play, I mean, sort of. If you hit pause and you go to the scene, or you don't have to hit pause because you're not going to get attacked. But I mean, if you go into the scene view, so like where he is right now, or she is in Pro V, is right behind that bush. And yeah, so like, and that's another fun thing is you can see the player collision is up underneath. Just another fun part about dealing with the 3D-ness, the faux 3D-ness of this game. They're actually below all this stuff, but at the same time.
You.
So, it's a nightmare. It's.
I can't even.
Yeah. And you can't click on them because they're all like there, but they're also not there. So it's so tricky. But you can sort of see the player's box collider. The player has a lot of colliders. I think she actually had several box colliders in this case too. But one of these colliders is telling that bush exactly where the player is. And once you get to a certain spot, it's like, oh, I know I have to be behind that thing. And for something like this bush, it's not really that big a deal. But the deeper something gets, so sort of like that bench. The bench is not too bad, but like we've had desks. Anything that kind of goes back into space a good distance sometimes has to get broken up into kind of like cake slices so that thing can render properly. And that's just a pain. But we worked around the problem and got to the moon, I think.
To the moon.
We only lost like 2 people.
Real quick, I found a salamander. A random salamander has been caught in my net. It is Mark's Flow. Mark's Flow. I will message you. I don't want to message you on here because it'll probably mess things up. As in, I don't want to show stuff. So, Mark's Flow. I think this is you. I'm messaging you right now saying, is this you? And I will message you the key after the stream.
He actually is quite a coatl, but you do have to spell that right.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is pretty much. Oh shit! What did I do?
You just hit unplug. Oh.
Okay, gotcha. I'm gonna hop right back in here real quick. So one thing I just wanted to show off was, it seems simple, but just the cars themselves. How do I show off that thing again? Like they're being hidden right now because of all this. I do want to turn this off, but I want to show the cars kind of in action, even though you don't really see them do much. They just kind of appear. It showed it for a second there.
Oh, you just want to see the like the multiples?
Yeah. I just want to show them like why. Sure. What is this car even doing over here? So still nighttime. Okay. It's chugging right now because Unity is just catching up to what I'm doing. Okay, so
yeah,
car over
no
here.
Car there anymore.
Which is a pain in the ass also for Eric and his team to have to put in. They're chopped up in like 3 different pieces.
Yeah, I don't think there was a single car that is one piece of collision in this game.
Oh, and there's Luchadora, by the way. There's a new enemy type. They've shown up in trailers, but that is more of a little more than we've shown. I have a collision question. Do characters have solid colliders, and do they use Unity's core physics?
To be honest with the physics, I don't think it's baseline Unity physics. We did a lot of, I can't even tell you how many times we tackled so many issues. And you know how this works. You fix one thing, and it's like, well, that worked for 90% of cases, but this other 10% over here is completely broken, so we have to rethink that. But no, it's not just regular Unity physics. As far as the colliders go, there's several colliders on things on the player for sure. Enemies, yes and no. This game is not how. It's very unique. Me and my team have been working in this space for over 10 years. This thing presented all sorts of new fun
Eric,
challenges.
On that note, that's something I kind of forgot to even finish, is the fact that the beat 'em up genre, this is kind of like what you normally see in a beat 'em up game. You're not going behind things. Yeah. It's just a background behind you. Like, you're not going to be like getting behind things, going under things. Like, we have ceilings and stuff like that in our game, and other beat 'em ups just don't do that. So many
like nooks and crannies, and like I love. Probably went overkill in this game. I love like hiding little areas to go play in, and sometimes so you can direct all your hateful tweets to me because I don't have Twitter. I might have nooks and stuff that you find, and you're like, oh sweet, what's up here? And then nothing. But that's my fault. I love hiding little things, but yeah, like really taking advantage of the faux 3D-ness of it all. Yeah, lots of little nooks and exploration opportunities for you guys.
There's more than one car type in here, right?
You can get on it. We try to make you get on it.
Eric, the reason I asked about character collisions is because I've noticed in many beat 'em ups, enemies can phase through each other. Oh, I mean, that's still going to happen. Like, they are technically just like 1 pixel. Like, I'm going to phase through this person. Like, that's just the nature of it. I'm not going to bump him.
That's just the sorting. The collider for that would essentially work the same as the colliders for the environment. That's just purely looking for the sorting algorithm. But yeah, like Bannon said, we are essentially like paper thin at the same time. But also, there is no 100% answer. Sometimes we're paper thin. Sometimes we have a little bit of depth.
Yeah,
it really just depends. Which is why it was so difficult to make. But
yep. But it's worth it. Like, as you can see here, the car is gone now, so that person has left. But yeah, other games don't even, like, maybe this is the extent they might do, is like an obstacle in the middle, but like we have, like, even doing this, ceilings. Ceilings are just like unheard of in these type of games. It's more of like, we want you to explore this city. Like, you can get on a platform here. So it is just a weird hybrid 2D, but really it's a 3D game. So
it's so fun to explore too, like to find all of those little nooks and crannies.
Yeah, and Kevin, that's like what I said, like with some of the playtesters and even some of our own employees, like James. When James first played this, like, I was trying to get him to follow me, and he was just going, and like this scene itself, he just like looked at like the plan over here, then he went over here. I was like, James, this way.
That's what my team would do too. We would try to do productive playthroughs, and we'd end up just walking around breaking things and exploring the city and listening to how everything sounds.
So real quick,
you can go behind that bush up there, and it's just no real reason to. It's just.
And I'll mention, whenever we found a nook and cranny, like, we'll occasionally throw a completely unnecessary sort of Easter eggy sound emitter up there. So there are spots in the game that have, like, if you get on this one weird roof, you'll hear pigeons fly away when you land. There's absolutely no reason to hear that, but it was just it kind of went along with. We went all out with trying to make exploration feel rewarding. I don't know, are pigeon sounds rewarding?
They are indeed.
Of course.
Yeah.
I pay my guys.
I appreciate them every time.
Yeah, exactly.
But as
I don't need your money. I'll take pigeon sound.
and I always try to be very open about, like, game. That's why I'm showing this kind of stuff off. Is it's not fun trying to make all this stuff work, because like I even noticed right here, like we're still combating all these different layers and sorting. Like, let's see if I can make it happen. Right there. See how every now and then I could find that kind of sweet spot. I think
your left foot will go behind it occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
And
kind of.
sometimes it's conditional of how many enemies could be there when the sorting algorithm
Yeah, let me
catches up.
get rid of some people here. Get out of here, you bums. Let's see. Where is it? Right. It's like this little tiny pixel size thing. And it just happens. Like, there are so many objects in here that sort over each other. Where are you?
And that car's not always going to be there.
Yep. And that's
Dynamic,
that's another thing.
yeah.
This might be a completely different car as well.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I know we fought so hard it's all sorted. So if you see some sorting things, the trade-off is you get a lot bigger, cooler, interesting nugget levels to go explore. But yeah, sometimes that sorting algorithm, the issue is you kind of get caught in the catch-22 occasionally with it.
I like how I can't make it happen now.
Yeah,
I saw it for like a
oddly
brief
enough,
second there.
Oddly enough, it seems like this is usually backwards. The more AI that are around it solves that sorting issue, which is usually the other way around.
Gotcha. Come here.
But
Come
yeah,
here, you son of a bitch. Break.
I won't say what
Oh,
level.
there. It did it.
But
Oh, whatever.
there is a level that between Chris and myself, Chris remade it 3 times. I ended up making it 4 times. So a total of 7 to possibly 8 times we remade a certain level later in the game. Just because we were fighting sorting and all sorts of things. The cube level, Bannon.
I think I know what you're talking about. I can imagine which level would be the toughest to sort.
Will the car ever leave while you're on screen? No, they randomize when you come into a scene. So this is the old, like, whatever, 80 something Ford Bronco thing. That'll just be a different car by the time I come back in. It might not be there. It might be another different version of the Ford Bronco. But it is, Eric, how do we just see that itself?
If you just unplay. Let's go ahead and turn off 2P5. Just do hide, 3D meshes hide.
Okay.
Yay! There we go. So the little station wagons here, or sometimes you get to see double ups, sometimes not, because we only had 1 station wagon, I think. But if you go over to the Bronco area,
and this is how Eric has to break this stuff down too. Make it to where you can get on these different kind of layers too. So if you want to break this down, go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah.
What was that?
I was going to say, that's like 3 or 4 cars, right?
it's a lot.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember, because we basically tried to sprinkle and scatter quite in here.
Looks like 4 cars.
Yeah, unfortunately, like prefab. I don't know, for any of you that have made games or play with this space a little bit, you know what a prefab is. And most games, most of these things would be prefabs, but the nature of this game, a lot of things couldn't be prefabs, especially at the beginning. The vehicles are one of the things that we could have as prefabs. So essentially, we've made each vehicle separately, and most of these, especially these, are cut up into two sprites, really, and 2 pieces of collision. Usually one for the hood and then the rest for the body. And so that's why you see, that Bronco's got, I think, that little weird, I call it Vector SUV. It's from those old hamster commercials. Front end, because it just kind of, like I said, in the editor view, these things, the sorting doesn't really pay attention. But yeah, this is really what you're seeing is just a stack of prefabs on top of each other. And we have a nice little script in here that randomizes what can get turned on, what the percentages of them to show nothing, and then the different percentages to show this car over this car over this car. So
that was also fun to deal with audio-wise, right, Eric? Because the moving cars are kind of similar, and my team was like, no, we want a different engine sound for different cars.
Yes, Stefan, there are, to answer that question on the same note, there are moving cars, but these will never move. These are just static cars. So yes, if you see a moving car coming your way, get out of the way. It's what we've all been taught since we were children.
Deep life lessons here.
Yep. Just looking at some of this stuff. Okay. So yeah, this is kind of Kevin. I don't know if you wanted to go over how you design sound, and Eric, if you even want to hang out for that or not.
Yeah, I like learning.
Do you want to go over sound, Kevin?
Sure. I mean, I can show off. I think, yeah, I can show off like the F1 event for this scene's sort of background ambient.
Okay, then let me do this real quick. I'm going to. Where are you? Bloop.
Making sure there's nothing.
Turn this off. Okay, it is a black screen right now. They can't see anything. So,
okay.
How are you going to share it? Are you going to share it via Discord?
Yeah, I just screen shared on Discord.
Okay, let me grab that real quick. Hello, everybody. Hang in there.
By the way,
Okay.
you destroy cars. Good question, Mega Moose.
I'll be up front. No, you can't. Sorry. I did want to put in a golf cart.
They're not quite that powerful.
Pick up. While this is a black screen, I'm going to take a 3-minute break, mainly because I've got to pee. Everybody calls it a bio break now, but I have to pee.
I'll do the same.
Yeah, go get snacks or whatever. We'll be back in like 3 minutes, and we're going to go over sound effects. I'll be back. Sorry, microphone. Get your questions ready. And I might do another giveaway when we get back. So, we'll be right back. I will miss all of you deeply. All right.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. So am I.
What's up? Hey.
So, hello everybody again.
Can you see my screen? Can you, before you share it, put a spoilerino thing on the on this left column?
Yeah, let me grab this real quick. Just making sure everything is off here. Nope. Banner name. Okay. So. Let me turn off mine real quick. And where should that go? On the far left?
Yeah, this whole left side would be great.
I'll try my best. A little nope here. Little nope here. And a little nope over here. It's so dumb.
You gotta know. You gotta know.
I don't get to see all the notes, so I can just imagine.
The top up isn't as important as just like this box particularly.
Okay. I think I'm excited to go see the new movie Nope, but Jordan Peele usually can't finish his movie correctly.
Ooh.
Oh, bold statement.
It is.
Bannon Rudis. Hot.
He's
take.
got good ideas, then he explains the idea. I'm like, should have just let it be this nebulous, scary, unknown mystery. Okay, this should be good. Should is the operative word here.
Here, I mean, I can hide it until you hear. It's not the end of the world. Kind of gets a lot.
I've just got so many damn screens going here. And since we're streaming right now, I can't really like... Alright, let me put this over here. Is it display 2, I believe? That's Unity still. I guess I gotta move it over here. Move this over here.
We're pros.
Yeah. Hang in there, everybody. I'm an idiot. You must know this by now.
Technology's hard.
It is. I hate it. Even though it makes us do this and
You probably
play
do.
video games.
But, yeah. Again, I think we should all have been carpenters.
JD Zombie with a raid.
Well, well, well. JD. You son of a
Thank you.
bitch.
What's up, raiders?
Okay. Alright, I think I got enough nopes in there. Hello, everybody that has just joined us from JD's stream. I'm gonna assume that JD did not treat you well, so I will try to treat you good. My name's Bannon Rudis. I work over at WayForward. Kevin Samuels, our sound
Hello.
designer, he works over at WayForward as well. He's going to be going over sound. We just got done showing how we got these sounds into the scenes themselves in River City Girls 2. But now we are going to see, how'd you make the sounds, Kevin? Eric, the distant sound of Eric's voice. Eric, can you hear me from the beyond?
Hello!
Oh, there's Eric. Eric is the one that had to put all this art and make some of the art himself and make the levels that you get to see in the game. So, Kevin.
Bamo, that is Kevin. That is the other Kevin. There are two Kevins. I'm sound effects Kevin.
We hired
Kevin.
1,700 Kevins to work there. We call them the
Seven
Kevins.
Kevins.
Yep.
Oh gosh, hold on, please.
So Kevin. Oh wait, let me
I just meant,
mute the music there.
should we mention
That's
Kevin 11?
legendary mochi.
Nope.
Oh yeah.
Nope. They'll see it.
That's just a thing that doesn't mean anything. Okay. Yeah, so I'll walk you through sort of. Bannon showed off the ambient events. I think that's the easiest thing to focus on.
I guess
so this
before you get too in depth, we have a bunch of people that showed up. Eric,
Hey.
what is the magic word? No, Kevin, what is the magic word they have to put in to get a copy of River City Saga?
Oh gosh, don't put that on me.
I'm putting it straight on. Oh, put in the word Kevin. The word.
Yeah. The word Kevin.
Just put in Kevin. And Arc System Works released River City Saga 3 Kingdoms, I think just 2 days ago or something like that. So I'm going to pick somebody, give you a Steam key for that, and bam, 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 bam. Go ahead, Kevin. How'd you make these beautiful sounds?
Okay. So the sounds themselves aren't as exciting as the Fmod events. So we'll show those off. Fmod, for those of you who don't know or anyone who's unfamiliar with the space, is audio middleware. So what it does is it allows us to put sort of wave files, like individual sound effects, like this, into events, and then put those events into the game and it allows us to, put them in playlists, add different parameters, kind of make them more interesting. That is the most sort of basic explanation I could come up with right now.
So why is there because there's a bunch of new people, why is there a bunch of ambient sounds now? We didn't have those in the first game.
That's a great question. I don't
fantastic
know.
question.
Yeah, it was just something that my team really was interested in pursuing for this. I think RCG1 was the sound. I did the sound on RCG1 as well. It was a smaller team, and we were really focused on sort of making the gameplay feel satisfying in that the style of, kind of Double Dragon and classic ARC games. And then this game, we wanted sort of Bannon, very early on, you told me that you wanted exploration and sort of the city itself to feel like a character in this game.
Alive!
Very alive. I think we had talked about that for RCG1 too, but it just, it's game dev is all about time. We sort of ran out of time. So this game we made sure to prioritize it and put probably way too much work into it.
Yes, prioritize it as in Kevin and I working weekends.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of
what are you going to do?
But I had an amazing team to help with this game.
So here's one thing about me saying working weekends. Kevin and I didn't necessarily have to.
No, this is all stuff we love doing.
Yeah, like there is crunch from big companies and stuff like that, but this is kind of like we kind of put ourselves in kind of a crunch mode because I like even balancing this game and like whatever tweaking the combat and gameplay, like I just do it on the weekends and sometimes at night because I just want this game to be good and I take like pride in this stuff. And Kevin
Bannon and I would send messages to each other at like 2 a.m, like check this thing out I just did,
yep.
and
I would check it out.
We're just way too dorky about this.
Because it's dorky. We like to geek out about this stuff, and it's just I don't know. It's when it doesn't feel like work. It's fun. Like
absolutely, yeah.
But big companies, please don't.
I also have a very understanding wife who lets me spend way too much time doing this. So thank you. Shout out to Callie. So this is one of the ambient events. This is the scene that we were just looking at. For those of you who just joined, it's like a suburban neighborhood scene. There are sort of like 2 main elements to the environmental sound.
Real quick, Kevin, I should be able to show them if I swap to this. It should show. Does this show up?
Yeah, I can hide what I need to hide.
No, this should be good enough. This is just the scene itself. It's kind of cut off over here because of Kevin's screen, but this is the scene that we were showing off. So, and you get to see what Eric had to deal with all this stuff here. So, Kevin is showing off how these sounds got put into the game itself.
Yeah. So this is, a sort of suburban neighborhood ambient 2D track that we have. That's what I was talking about. I lost track. There are kind of two layers to environmental sounds. There is what's called a 2D loop, which is basically a stereo loop. It's not positional to anything.
You're doing the thing where it's.
Is it doubling up?
No, it's showing the actual.
Oh, gotcha.
It said day traffic. It was just big day traffic like that.
Oh, it's Unity doing that fun stuff. Discord doing that fun stuff. Here, if I hit play, can you hear that?
What is that? Oh, what is that, Kevin?
So this is the 2D loop for that room. There's kind of like 2D sounds which are just stereo ambient sounds. They're just things that are playing in, the speakers at all times. And then there are 3D emitters, which are things that we tied, for those of you who were in here earlier, we tied to specific spots in the level, like that street light, those, traffic emitters, birds, things like that.
I'll show them real quick where that is.
Okay. This is the 2D loop. I'll let this play in the background.
Eric, real quick, that's... Where's that again? Backgrounds.
You're not sharing.
Yeah, I am on the stream though.
It's SFX. SFX. It should be the very bottom.
Okay, so yeah, what you're hearing
SFX
right
ambient.
now is coming from. Oh crap!
What you're hearing right now is just coming from your speakers when you're in this scene. It's just this will always play. This is the 2D loop.
Yeah, but this is like the
There's
big
also- I'll show the
explosion of
bird
sound
emitters
here.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we have like here's the street lights over here, street light over there, a bird. There's a little owl over here that has a chance of playing at nighttime. So this is what Kevin is showing you, like, but this is how they are in the scene itself.
Right. Yeah. So all of the ambience in this game is basically set up to work with our day and night cycle. I don't think that's a spoiler because we just saw it a few times, but everything in the game has every ambient track has like a day and nighttime value. So you'll hear on this is what's called an Fmod parameter. These sounds are not actually playing on a timeline. I don't know if any of you are familiar with like a digital audio workstation or that worked on music in the past. This is not a timeline. This is like an arbitrary value that represents this parameter. So we worked with Eric's team to set up like a parameter that has different values depending on what time of day it is. So this parameter goes from 0 to 10, which doesn't make much sense with the clock, but it fits with the game. And then it goes back again. So as you play the game and as the day-night cycle shifts, I think like this value around here, 6.57 is right when sunset is happening. So you hear these different layers get quieter.
So yeah, everybody in the game around, I believe, 9:30 is when we start transitioning into 10 p.m., which is nighttime. And then Eric, I forget when sunrise is.
Morning's like 4:30.
4:30 to 5. Yeah.
About 4:30 in the morning.
Because we're on farm time.
Yeah, and each of these like in-game times corresponds with like a parameter value, and so that kind of like we bring different layers in and out depending on what time it is in the game. So you'll see if I solo these layers, this is, let's see what's interesting, like the dogs, right? Oh, whoops. If I solo the dogs, you're not going to hear the dogs past sunset. They're daytime dogs, I guess. Day dogs, as the track is called. And then as the sun rises, or before the sun sets, this dog track just starts coming in. This dog track is a bunch of individual sounds of dogs barking, with reverb and stuff to kind of put them in the space.
Oh, so it was Kevin who let the dogs out.
It was me who let the dogs out, yes.
So we had that question in chat, so just making sure.
Yeah. And they just will randomly play at different intervals, different volumes, things like that.
Now, Kevin,
the idea behind a system like this.
You do have an area where dogs bark at you if you're close, and then whine when you leave, right?
Yeah. That's a different dog emitter.
Yep.
That's
Just
what
know
we call
that's
it, hard
out
dog.
there somewhere. So,
But yeah,
Kevin
there are
was
fences in the
doing
game
weird
where
stuff.
if you walk too close to a fence, a dog will kind of flip out at you. There are all kinds of fun for me, audio Easter eggs like that.
And that's what I loved that Kevin was doing, was like putting in stuff that I didn't necessarily ask for, but I discovered when I'm playing. I was like, oh, look at that, or listen to that.
He had some goofy stuff, some stuff that didn't quite make the cut, but what the dog doing, asking the important questions in chat.
Yes.
Yeah, and then so the goal with an instrument like this is called a scatter instrument in Fmod, is because it's playing at random intervals, random pitches, random volume. The goal is for if a player was to stand in this scene, it would never, sound the same. It doesn't sound like a looping thing. So it feels like really alive and breathing. This neighborhood scene isn't maybe as detailed and dynamic as some of the other stuff later in the game.
Yeah, and this was like one of the. It is a pretty big scene to show off too, but it is very early into the game itself. Might not, like Kevin was saying, might not have the most exciting stuff to show off, but I don't want to spoil too much for the game. So
we don't want to spoil too much. Yeah. JD Zombie, to answer your question, we get sources from different places. We have a few like pro sound effects libraries that we pull from. We do recording. And then anytime you pull a sound from a library, there's a lot of sort of additional manipulation that needs to happen, like EQ and cutting out things that don't quite work. Yeah. I think some of this neighborhood is actually my neighborhood. One or two of these layers. But,
oh, really?
Yeah.
So
live in a
I would
suburban
be
neighborhood.
able
This
to
works
just
perfect.
drive around, and then when I hear
And you'd be
this,
like, that's River City Girls too.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Kevin's near.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
So
you find them.
for the people that might have joined us, let us actually go into the game itself so they can see this stuff in action, because some of these people might not have been able to see any of this. Because I know when JD raided, we already stopped doing that.
Yeah.
There's plenty of wild above the game.
All right, so I guess I can. I'll just leave the. That's kind of annoying with those nopes up there, but whatever.
Yeah, you can get rid of them. I can hide the column in case.
Okay, let me get rid of those. Which one is it? Nope, number 2. Nope. Number 1.
Nope.
Which one are you? Which one are you?
Don't mess this up.
I don't know which one is which. Which one did I? No, I must. No, it has-
Everybody watching, just close your eyes.
Just look away for like 2 seconds.
it doesn't really.
Honor system.
I'm more worried
Oh,
about
no.
I'm more worried about the later levels. This is like. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, a lot of this is familiar turf, I think.
Alrighty, so we're gonna show off. Wait, am I showing? How am I showing this? What is this exactly? Is this display capture? Okay, it's just okay. This is fine. So yeah, now that you've heard the sounds themselves, these are for the people that didn't get to see running around. You can see bird owl emitter up here. So all this stuff is, you get to see all the meat and potatoes of how this game runs. Mind you, this is Unity, and Unity hates my computer and me, so it'll take just a little bit here. As you could see, you could start seeing the cars, all the different layers of them. If you weren't here for when we were showing off, the level itself is, oh yeah, I gotta hit mute audio. The cars are coming and going, so it seems more like a live kind of city. Take down music for right now. So, new enemy type. By the way, I am cheating. I'm not going to be able to get hurt here, so that's fine. But yeah, you can hear kind of. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it too much. There's a little bit of traffic over here, but the closer I get over here, you're going to start hearing a lot more of the birds. What time is it right now? 5:41 a.m., so it won't turn daytime or nighttime for a bit here. But Kevin and his team also had to put in all the sounds of all these breakables.
Yeah. Yeah, there are. Let me look.
Are you looking up how many there are?
I would like.
Wow.
Kevin, were you the one that handled mainly Pruvy sounds?
No, that was Ian Strother.
Gotcha.
Ian did an amazing job with Ruby's sound. Yeah, that's cool. I think I hit 1 or 2 of them. That's the boombox.
Oh, that's another. Here's another thing that I asked for, and I think Kevin, you were confused at first. The sounds of getting dizzy. Kevin ended up using like straight up Looney Tunes sounds. There's like, how many sounds are there? Like 10 or 15, or how many did you end up doing?
Oh, there's like 15, 20 variations. Yeah, they're. Yeah, I wasn't sure about it at first because the audio language is like so different in RCG1.
Yep.
And this was something early on, but yeah, the dazed hits have this.
So listen.
They have a chance to play like 1 of 20 sort of like Hanna-Barbera
yeah,
style.
straight up
cartoony
Looney
sounds.
Tunes. Listen for when you see the stars come off their head.
It's when you punch. Yeah.
So you'll see them kind of turn yellow. We're using color a lot more in the game to try to... She has a little gang initiation kick. That wasn't the sound, by the way.
There it was. And they got hit.
It doesn't sound too exciting right now because... Oh, there it is.
You'll catch it.
That was an Awuga sound, a car horn.
Yeah, Bannon asked me, could you make this sound like cartoony? And I don't know if that's gonna work. And then as soon as we saw it in game, we just cracked up, and so I kind of went nuts and reached for every sort of classic cartoon cliche I could find. I think there are like 20 of them in there that we made.
I think they can go louder.
Sound goofy.
Was the cheerleader inside that mailbox? I don't know. I didn't see it. This is probably the only other thing we've really shown off is there is a training gym in here, or at least a beat up this poor dummy over here. Oh, okay. So don't go by this showing zeros because enemies right now, I've used a cheat where they don't take damage, but it is going to show total damage, the max combo that you did, and then the damage of each hit. Right now, it is set to 0 because they can't take damage.
You're a cheater.
I am a cheater. So back to the trees here. I'm trying to wait until, okay, so it's 7:28 a.m. That's going to take way too long for it to turn nighttime. Nighttime is not as long as daytime, but yeah, there is a day and night cycle.
Yeah, and I'll add, like, sound-wise, there are, maybe not in this scene, but there are, I think in this scene there are differences. So, like, at about 3 p.m. in-game time, like, the dogs start barking more often, and that was in our mind, like, oh, maybe they're kids walking home from school and the dogs are barking at them. So there are differences, even, like, it's not just a day soundscape and a night soundscape. There are other scenes in the game where we have, like, rush hour traffic that's implied, like, right around, 6 or 7 p.m. And yeah, one of my fellow sound designers, Tommy Sweet, went nuts on, like, coming up with all these individual touches that everything we could think of to make, interesting and these super geeky details that no one will ever notice. But it was really fun. Once we got the day-night cycle working, we just went nuts.
Yeah, now I'm just gonna, I'm trying to waste time until it turns. It's 8:07 a.m. That'll take forever.
Yeah, it's gonna take way too long.
Yeah, so I will say, oh, we haven't picked our Kevin yet.
Oh yeah, let's pick a Kevin.
All right, I'm randomly.
Seventh Kevin.
The one true Kevin. That Stefan dude, yes. Again, Ian Strother. He had such amazing ideas for her. We went back and forth on a lot of stuff with her visual design and sort of her move set and stuff like that, and we landed on that as being a cool part of her sort of sound palette. And I think she's probably one of my favorite sounding playable characters in the game. Everyone sounds cool. I don't know, for those of you who joined late, all of the characters that were in RCG1 got fully redid sound-wise.
It's called a glow up, Kevin.
They got glowed up. They were glowed up.
Speaking of somebody got glowed up, little crazy crafter.
Oh.
You're getting a Steam key. And that's all the Steam keys for today.
Oh.
Little Crazy Crafter helped us with our test.
Oh, yeah, you were the first one in this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll also, real quick, show off the her special grab, which is always a fun one to do.
The boombox blast.
It's the wave into the slap.
Oh, yeah.
That guy was in the way, so that was... There's the the bell. Get him out.
So if
here
you're
we
playing
go.
and you occasionally hear like a super cartoony sound, means you made someone dizzy.
Yep. So yeah, any more questions? Feel free to ask. Eric, is there any like closing comments you want to say about level design and the perils of said level design?
This is the hardest game to level design for, but the most fulfilling and the coolest.
Why was it fulfilling?
Why? Because we got it all to work, and I think it's a giant. I won't spoil how deep it goes, but it's a big old game, and I'm pretty proud of damn near every level. I think if you enjoyed the first one, your mind's gonna get a little exploded on this one, and all the areas you can visit, all the nooks and crannies you can check out, and then how it works in these things when you get to a certain quest. Now you got to go recheck out all these crannies. So I think you'll spend quite a bit of time enjoying these levels. I hope so, anyways. Cause spent quite a bit of time making them.
Yeah, it's. I'm really hoping really people explore every like little nook and cranny, and like Eric mentioned earlier, there are a lot of nooks and crannies. You might get up to somewhere and you're like, "Where the hell am I up here?" It's just like, I don't know.
Well, then now Kevin might have put it like, even if we, there might be a little sound nugget too. So I mean, it's a big game, and it's very fulfilling, I would say. Yeah, I'm quite proud of it. And I haven't seen it in a couple months. It's nice to be back in here. Nice.
I wasn't going to, but I wanted to
Marion.
Get the hype train going for her a bit. So here she is. Do you want to see her do moves?
Marion moment?
I will give you like 5. Yeah, I'll give you like 5 minutes of Marion. Mind you, I'm still cheating, so I'm just... Nobody can hurt Marion except Skullmageddon, apparently. So yeah, Marion, I don't even know if I've even discussed too much about Marion in the first place. By the way, Kevin, did you do this, or did your sound goons do Marion sounds? Because she had to have all new sounds.
Yeah, Ian did a lot of work on Marion as well. Yeah, she has a unique sort of sound palette too. We wanted to pull from. I think she's sort of the most traditionally gamey sounding. I think we really wanted to lean into like the Double Dragon style for her.
Yeah.
But then she also has wrestling moves, so we have some interesting stuff in there.
Somebody just said her idol is really cool. Do you know how hard this is to animate all this hair flowing everywhere in every single frame, and just like, I am so sorry, Kay. So yeah, this is a lot of this is Kay, but as you can see, her hair flows like this. I believe Adam Kling also did a lot of Marion stuff, but yeah, lots of hair to move around, and her jacket and all that stuff. So
Kay is a beast.
But yeah, so Marion, I never got why do let me put this back over here. I was hiding stuff. Why do wrestlers always have to be slow and like whatever? So I was like, she could still be a wrestler, but also she's a boxer. So she is kind of your boxer and wrestler. So I'm letting Unity load up all the different punches, since it usually takes a couple of tries for Unity to catch up with VFX. Okay, so let me zoom out a bit. Zoom-a-loo. Okay, so yeah, we've got I'll do this for like 5 minutes show off, but so her basic quick attack combo, lots of punches. She does, let's see if I can capture this. There's your sounds, Kevin. I'm gonna try to capture this right there. She does a straight up nut shot there. So there you are. I didn't capture it, but there you are. Part of her attack. Every playable character has a what I call liftoff combo. Working with Arc System Works, I wanted to kind of like say, hey, here's kind of what you did in Dragon Ball Fighters is if I'm in the middle of a quick attack combo and I press jump, you're going to launch you and your enemy kind of at an angle. That way you can try to get, like, if you want to do a jump kick or some type of jumping attack on somebody like this distance where the enemies are right now, you can get the drop on them. So those are her basic attacks. Her basic special attack, or I'll go over her heavies real quick. There's another nut shot. All punches. So she's straight up a boxer. Her guard break is cross body check. So classic wrestling move, little luchador move there. She is the only playable character that has a special from behind. I think it's working. I hope it's working. If they get dizzy, and I'll show it off. Those are her quick and heavy attacks, but her basic repertoire of specials. So she's got a charging punch. That's just neutral special. But if I charge this thing up, that is going to make people bounce off the walls if I hit them against walls. This might look weird. Her down special is that. As you can see, there is I'm trying to get away from enemies. They can't hurt me, but I don't want to hurt them right now with it. Oh, she might do it on accident here. So, Irish Whip. So, doesn't look like much, but if I can get in the middle of these two. So every playable character has a down special that kind of gets people away from her. But if I can get in the middle of these two. Oh, Luchadora didn't sort right. Let's see if that was just Unity playing it for the first time. Come on, get up. So you clobber their heads together. It looks like the VFX is missing there. Make a note of that, Eric. Thank you.
Yeah, will do.
Her up special is going to launch her up into the air like this. If I don't do anything, it just makes her land. If this hits people, though, kind of like a Blanca thing. If I cancel this before she does go into her, just like cancel whatever manually, if I do hit special in air, she's going to come crashing down. Mind you, like I said, this is Unity, so every time I do a new move, it's going to look a little jank. It has to load it up. So let's do this. Right, do this. From there, you can combo off that if you're fast enough. So we call it the party crasher. Now in air, if I just hit special, she's going to do her elbow drop. So you can wait until the end of this move to pull that off as well. Forward special, she's the only one with the command grab.
This is my favorite thing to do with it.
So little jank at first. Unity's got to load it up. And you can get rid of the enemy anytime by pressing special, so if you want to time it. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of Marion. She doesn't have a back attack. Back attacks are when you're holding block and hit heavy. She will do a dodge. So if somebody's blocking whatever, you want to get around behind them, you could do that. Get her dizzy and take it with her. So that move itself will plow through other enemies. So that's a basic rundown of Marion for right now. She has other moves, but we'll wait. So
she's so fun.
Yeah, she's fun. She was kind of the main inspiration for me to glow up the original characters, because I was like, ooh, these two new players are really fun. So yeah, it was definitely inspiration to go, let's make sure Misako, Kunio, Ricky, and Kyoko they got their glow up, so they're much better.
And it was the same with when Ian made the sounds for that. for those two characters. I was like, wow, shoot.
Yeah, might
the
as well.
RCG1 characters.
Patch the patch. Does the redness mean armor when doing a move? It means it's unblockable. So if you see an enemy doing that as well, you're not going to be able to block it. Get away from this thing. So same with Marion. She turns red. So it's like, it's unblockable. Get out of there. That move does cost a lot of special though. Love everything I'm seeing. Just need a goon breaking his hand on her abs. That I won't say anything. Is there a way to track already eaten food? Yes, it'll say purchased, and it takes away the. It won't show the stat boost anymore. When someone turns red, treat them like a moving cart. Exactly. Is this release day still summer? We're not talking about any release date stuff. That is not up to me at all. So everybody will know when a release date. You won't be able to escape that information at all. My boy Ricky makes some crispy combos. Yes, he does. No problem. Kuno. I don't know why, but I just thought of how much food is eaten and the Metal Slug characters transform when they eat too much food. I did put that in my underground game. If you play as the character Mike, you can eat 3 items in a row and he'll turn into Fat Mike. So, yes. Everybody, thank you so much for coming in today. I don't want to raid anybody because I know you guys will just drop out immediately. I know you. Mark, afterwards. I don't want to bring up a screen that has like information. So you guys are gonna get hit up. So
thank you guys for watching. Yeah.
Like I said, after the stream, I'll send it. So everybody, thank you so much. Eric, thank you for coming on by again. I've missed you, buddy.
Well, thank y'all.
We've missed you, Eric.
Oh, I miss you too. Yeah, it's not as fun.
I'm so sorry.
We'll hang in there in Georgia. I don't have to stay up as late to talk to you, California.
Yeah, that is kind of
that's
bad.
nice.
I still do want to visit. I still do want to visit at one point.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not messing
Legendary
around.
monkey.
So, and yes, Kevin.
Oh yeah. Oh well, come on. We got a lake. We got some shenanigans to get into up here.
I love lakes.
We go fishing.
Oh yeah, fishing. Lose your hand to a firework. All sorts of things.
And yes, Kevin as well. Thank you for working the weekend with me again.
Of course.
So, no, you know what? Whatever. I'll raid somebody. Just be nice. You guys don't. I know you're not going to stay. I don't care.
Yeah, stay. Give them some love.
No, but they won't. I know they won't. People are like, "Oh, I just came here for this." I do the same thing. But at least that initial, we'll just wait until we raid somebody, and then you could just dip out. But it'll be like, "Oh my God, he's so grateful." And I just went. You know what? Oh no, actually, if you do want to see pixel art and game dev stuff, I would highly recommend watching at least this guy for just a bit here, because yeah, he's a independent developer and hasn't been doing pixel art for a while, but he's really damn good at it. I always do this wrong every single time.
I think it's /raid.
All right. I think I have undiagnosed dyslexia. Let's see here.
Thanks, chat.
Thank you so much, everybody. But yeah,
Thanks
if
for
you
being
actually
here.
want to see some really good pixel art and game dev, check them out. You can follow them and dip out if you want to, but let's go raid this son of a bitch.
Check them out.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Let's go.
Take care.
Let's get 'em.
Have a good weekend. See you guys.
I'm learning what rating is.
Yeah, we did it. We're no longer live.